So it's ridiculous, again, for someone like Ethan Klein, who spent so much of his life suing other people and claiming to be the victim of defamation. Here he is just casually linking not only Mike from PA, but also Taylor Lorenz, two totally innocent media figures on the left, linking them explicitly to a freshly committed act of horrific violence. That's dangerous. That's defamation. Because, yeah, out of everyone's, I feel like most people, left, right, center, they had a pretty reasonable, tasteful response to this whole affair. Ethan's, I think, is just particularly insane and cringe.
Oh, yeah, like everything Ethan does.
Yeah. Do you want to remind everyone of his sentiment in the immediate wake of Charlie Kirk's assassination?
Yeah, he says, I am absolutely horrified by what happened to Charlie Kirk. The video is devastating. Anyone celebrating this should be deeply and forever shamed. I am scared for myself and my family in my Bel Air compound. There has been a constant stream of death threats targeting me and others coming directly from twitch.tv. This is the inevitable result of Twitch's continued endorsement of radical violent voices, which I should remind everybody, as far as we know, this has fuck all to do with twitch.com, okay, or twitch.tv. I am not saying anyone on Twitch influenced this directly. We don't know anything yet. But this is the type of political violence that very specific people have been encouraging. Mike from PA has been broadcasting consistent threats of violence for years with zero accountability from Twitch. Twitch ensures this will continue to happen. I am so sorry to Charlie's family and wife and his 1-year-old son.
Yeah, so just one of the most insane things ever, again, to rope Mike from PA into that. It's crazy. And to act like, people like Mike from PA are somehow responsible for this. We also have this one, Zach. He put it on his Instagram story. Basically taking the screenshot of this video that Taylor Lorenz posted, where she was addressing the meme online, the trending Twitter meme, someone needs to do it, which obviously, is a reference to like a potential assassination of Donald Trump. But it's not like Taylor was making this video to be like one of you guys needs to do it right now. Like someone should do this. She was addressing the sentiment. She'd made a video, a 34-minute long video about why this was a meme and what it means. Because that's her freaking job, is to comment on like internet culture and shit.
Also, for somebody who makes a living on the internet, he should know that the reason you put your headline like that on YouTube is for click-through rate, right? It's like very common sense to do like a little bit of a shocking headline on YouTube. And at this point, nobody had any reason to believe that this was anything other than an innocuous meme that needed to be explained by a tech reporter like Taylor Lorenz. For 1.1 million views, by the way, Ethan's probably jealous.
Yeah, 100% he's jealous. And he literally says, happy now. Basically implying that Taylor Lorenz was putting out this call for violence, and that now she must be happy because someone acted on it and murdered Charlie Kirk right after finishing this Taylor Lorenz video. The killer, went to the gun store, got his gun, and then drove to Utah, right? So it's ridiculous, again, for someone like Ethan Klein, who spent so much of his life suing other people and claiming to be the victim of defamation. Here he is just casually linking not only Mike from PA, but also Taylor Lorenz, two totally innocent media figures on the left, linking them explicitly to a freshly committed act of horrific violence. That's dangerous. That's fucking defamation. Not that I think anyone should be suing. I don't think anyone should be suing anyone. I think we should all exercise free speech. But again, for someone who's so concerned about being defamed, he's very casually implying that Taylor Lorenz is somehow responsible for this, which is crazy because she was just on our show like a week ago, and she straight up said that his comments accusing her of pedophilia did meet the definition of defamation, that she had been already defamed by Ethan Klein with that ridiculous smear. And now it's happened again. In my opinion, this is also borderline, if not straight up, defamation of Taylor Lorenz. Obviously, this video was not a call for violence. She was not trying to get anyone to go do anything violent whatsoever. She was addressing a sentiment that was online.
100%. And if we click over to the image that's before this one, it's another post from Ethan Klein. And you guys might not be able to read the Rusty Shackelford tweet right here, so I'll read it. It says, Ethan Klein, after hearing the news of Charlie Kirk getting shot, decides to make this about himself once again. Also, this is the same guy who said, quote, someone should bomb the NRA, end quote. Now he wants to act like the arbiter of morality. Get the fuck out of here. And then Taylor Lorenz retweeted this person who said, Jesus fucking Christ, dude. And he says, no fucking shit, I made it about myself. I'm not waiting for someone to try to kill me. And fuck you, Taylor, quote, someone should do it, Lorenz. Somebody did it just like you asked. One, do you know how to read? Did you see a fucking exclamation point or a question mark at the end of this? Like someone should do it. Like, no, it was in quotes. I'm addressing a meme. So it's super fucking irresponsible. If you want to talk about stoking violence, if you want to talk about jeopardizing someone's safety, what you are doing right here legitimately jeopardizes the safety of, again, not just Taylor Lorenz, but also Mike from PA, because we know for a fact Ethan Klein has an unhinged psychopathic audience that he likes to direct at his enemies to do crazy shit. And just coming out here and saying that Taylor Lorenz, somebody who already receives ungodly amounts of hate from the right, has already been doxxed multiple times. Her parents got doxxed. Okay, it's crazy. She's been dealing with all kinds of harassment campaigns, and she continues to do her reporting because she's fearless and she doesn't give a fuck about it. But it's worth noting that you are contributing handedly, ham-fistedly, directly to making her less safe. And crazy to do that while you pretend to be like the moral arbiter of what's right and effective to say online.
Yep. And also, like I said, while claiming to constantly be the victim of defamation and slander and all this stuff. Meanwhile, you're just casually doing that to people who like kind of sort of disagree with you on shit. It's crazy. And as Taylor says here, if Ethan Klein bothered to watch my video, he would realize it's actually a piece about how dangerous escalating political violence in America is and who the true drivers of that violence are. So I'm sure if you guys go watch that video, you'll obviously realize that she's telling the truth, that this video is not tantamount to a call for violence. It's like more of a think piece, editorial about exactly what she says, the dangerous escalating political violence in America, which again, she was talking about even before the assassination of Charlie Kirk. So pretty crazy stuff. And then, Ethan also posts this rambling fucking idiotic screed. He says, people telling me I'm making it about myself are doing the exact same thing as people saying not now after a school shooting. What a piece of shit. No fucking shit. I'm making it about myself. I'm rightfully worried about me and my family's safety. I'm not going to wait for someone to try to kill me to speak up. Disgusting snark brain freaks like Taylor Lorenz retweet this bullshit. Well, Taylor, you and all the other leftist freaks that regularly call for political violence, again, straight up defamation. She does not regularly call for political violence. I don't think I've ever seen an example of her calling for political violence, not even sarcastically, not even as a meme. Like, that's fucking
She's
insane.
too smart for that. She already knows she has a bunch of people ready to fucking pounce on her for anything out of like line that she does. There's no way that she would tweet something like that.
Exactly. It's absolutely insane. So again, he's just straight up defaming her here. And he says, Taylor, you and all the other leftist freaks that regularly call for political violence are right to be nervous about the developing news, because if it turns out this person was influenced by any of you, the jig is up. You will be fully exposed for what you are. And even if he wasn't, it's okay. First of all, this is completely unhinged, crazy shit. The guy who tried to assassinate Ronald Reagan was inspired by J.D. Salinger's The Catcher in the Rye, a book that contains no violence whatsoever. The main character, Holden Caulfield, is the opposite of a violent person. At one point in the book, he gets beat up and can't even defend himself, right? Like, he's not a violent person. He doesn't plan any violent attack. That person was unhinged and deranged, and they took something from that book that wasn't even actually there, and they used it to justify an attempted assassination of Ronald Reagan. So,
same with the guy that shot Lennon.
Yeah, same with the guy that shot Lennon. He was also a fan of A Catcher in the Rye.
It fucked J.D. Salinger up bad when that happened.
Oh, it totally did. There was also examples of people, like one guy who killed some people in the 90s said he was inspired by Oliver Stone's Natural Born Killers. Someone in the 70s or 80s said they were inspired by Stanley Kubrick's The Clockwork Orange when they killed people. Like, crazy people are going to be inspired by shit. You can't blame the creators or the authors or the artists that they happen to be inspired by when they did some crazy shit. That's insane. So even if it did come out that the shooter, say they're apprehended, say they're a huge fan of Taylor Lorenz, and also they love the Vanguard, it doesn't actually mean anything. It doesn't mean that Taylor Lorenz radicalized him. No, it's completely fucking ridiculous to say that or to accuse someone like Taylor, again, who there's no proof whatsoever that this person was a Taylor Lorenz fan. crazy.
Oh, yeah. I think that the dude that shot Lennon also said something about how he did it to impress Jodie Foster. That's true, too. But he was also inspired by and said that he was living in the world of Catcher in the Rye. It was a common thing for people to say back then when they committed murder, unfortunately.
Interesting. Maybe do you think that was just a taxi driver thing? Or?
Oh, it was. Yeah, for sure. It was related to that. Yeah. But the dude that shot John Lennon, he was a fucking crazy person. So he said all kinds of, babbling bullshit.
Yeah, he said that John Lennon was like a phony. In the words of Holden Caulfield.
Yeah.
But again, if you read Catcher in the Rye, it's hilarious that it has this reputation of being like this book really inspires extremism, because Holden Caulfield doesn't ever do anything violent. He never tries to get revenge on anyone. Like, he just kind of it's an interior monologue where he's
just an angsty teenager.
Yeah, exactly. he never does anything violent or even really immoral. He's actually a pretty wholesome character. The reason it's called Catcher in the Rye is because his dream is just catch children as they jump off a cliff accidentally as they're playing in the rye. Like, he's a wholesome character. It's not a violent book at all. So I just, it's crazy to keep going with that line, even though we've had so many killings and assassinations that are inspired by stuff that is not actually at fault. But either way, it's just wild that Ethan Klein would actually straight up try to just blame people. Like, it's just wild to me that he would try to blame people like Taylor Lorenz, who I've watched a lot of Taylor's content. I've read a lot of her content. I don't always agree with it, but at no point have I ever come away from it being like, this is a violent person or an aggressive person or someone who looks at a political situation and diagnoses the problem with like, we need more violence. Like, that's just not her vibe at all.
Oh, of course it's not. And Ethan knows that, right? But Ethan already has a preset warpath, right? It's like downloaded into the computer. Whatever happens, it's Taylor Lorenz's fault. It's Mike from PA's fault. It's Twitch.tv's fault. It's Hassan Nabi's fault, right? It's all these other people's fault but me, right? And what's crazy about this also, while he's out here tone policing and finger wagging and talking about all these fucking people that could be responsible for the, accelerationist rhetoric and the just complete lack of humanity in response to Charlie Kirk's assassination and all that stuff. This dude, what was it, 10 days ago, was talking about how much he loved Destiny, was talking about what a huge Destiny fan he was and how he was devastated by the fact that this guy had engaged in pedophilic behavior because he'd been inspired by him when he was watching Destiny clean carpets, and it was what made him feel like he could become a full-time streamer. And he goes on and on about how Destiny is this like political figure that we should be, looking up to if he hadn't been a fucking pedophile. And this is like the one big flaw in Destiny. Like, Destiny was making jokes on air immediately after Charlie Kirk was dead, saying that he should sell shit like I went to a Charlie Kirk's last event and I survived t-shirts. Like, he was making all kinds of jokes on air, and that is on brand for Destiny, right? This is the kind of guy who will, no matter what, say the most problematic, cruel, I fucking hate you and I don't care what happens to you shit about Republicans. When there was a shooting, like an innocent guy got killed and he was like, fuck that asshole, he was MAGA, he deserved to die. That's what Destiny does. That's what his audience wants to hear from him. They want to see a guy who has absolutely no morals go out there and say some shit that they cannot hear anybody else say anywhere else. Okay, you praised that guy repeatedly, and now you want to go ahead and pretend that other people who are far more responsible, who are far less incendiary, who are far less caustic, rude, and villainous on the internet, and you're going to pretend like those people are the problem? It's absolutely crazy, and it just lets you know Ethan is in no way an honest actor. This is not him misunderstanding the situation. This is him manipulating the situation to fit his narrative.
Yeah, and to fit his fucking victim complex, which is all he can fucking do these days, is pretend to be a victim, not only of this situation, but as I've mentioned before, also the genocide of Palestinians. Somehow him and his family members are the victim of that as well. So pretty crazy, right? But let's take a look, Zach, at a moment from Ethan's live stream yesterday as the news broke. We can watch him react in real time to the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Do you have any comments on this before we take a look?
Oh, just the fact that he's basically far more heartbroken by the assassination of Charlie Kirk than I've seen him about anything Israel has done in a long time.
Huh, true.
I thought it was horrific. This is not, and well, like I said at the time,
basically since that one human conversation he had with Hassan before they ended leftovers, that was the last time I saw him show any kind of human empathy towards Palestinians, anything remotely comparable to this.
And people on the left were even criticizing me. They go, oh, Ethan was talking bad about Luigi. How much has he changed? That was my point. He went out and murdered this guy, right? What changed? Not a single fucking thing changed. That's not how we enact change.
Wow.
And
So
so
brave.
I wouldn't recommend watching the video, but for me, it it's terrifying.
So he's emotional and he's breaking down again. It has nothing to do with Charlie Kirk. It has nothing to do with anything else. He's immediately internalized that this is going to be him next.
If he's even actually seriously emoting.
True. Gavin doesn't think it's real.
For some reason, whenever people want to cry and shit, and their first instinct is to cover all the evidence that actual tears are emerging from their eyes, it just makes me feel. It makes me feel like it's potentially a little bit performative. Like, you know, when little kids do that shit, where they're like, they pretend to be crying about something, but then you realize they're actually not crying, and they're just like trying to make you feel bad for them by pretending to be crying. I don't know. That's kind of the vibe I get from this, where it's like, all right, bro, you're covering all the evidence that you're crying with your. But again, I mean, he's a man. Maybe he doesn't want to fucking it to be on camera or something. Who knows?
Yeah, to me, the one thing that would make me believe this is real is that he's really just immediately indulging in his self-victimhood fantasy, where he's like the next one that's on the chopping block. Like, it's him and Gila in the H3 studio next, and he's the next Charlie Kirk, and oh my God, I can't believe it's coming. Everything I forecasted about what these people are doing is coming for me. And so his reaction is one of like self-preservation and fucking narcissism, and not any kind of like real humanity for somebody else who lost their life.
Right. I just don't know if he actually genuinely believes that he's in danger, because I don't think he is, and I think he's pretending to. I mean, the whole time he's been pretending to be a victim, like with the skulls and all this crap, you know, like he's been pretending to be a victim this whole time. But it's also possible that, as Mary points out, he's struggling mentally. I mean, we've been chronicling his decline, seemingly his mental health decline, his potential drug habit. So it's definitely possible that this is a culmination of some stuff. Who fucking knows?
It's terrifying.
I feel like it's such a terrifying moment for everybody, and to understand this is what we've come to, and I can't help but think about the poor wife, you know,
kids. Yeah, we've all been scared. Some of us have been looking into getting our concealed license permit.
yeah.
But seeing it like that, definitely.
Oh man, you fucking crazy person! Jesus Christ! Like, oh, I'm finna strap up. Did you watch the fucking video, you moron? You fucking dope. Do you think that strapping up was gonna help Charlie Kirk? You idiot piece of shit. You fucking dumbass. You watch a horrible fucking victim or action of violence, right, from a gun 200 yards away. You're like, oh, I think I gotta get me a piece, bro. I think I gotta display my masculinity. It would be fucking irrelevant, you moron. This video that he's crying about right now, the video you're talking about, a guy was shot from 200 yards away. You can fire back. I'm gonna fucking. I'm not going down if I get shot in the neck. Like, it's just crazy. This is like adolescent hubris at its worst.
Yeah, if only there had been a good guy with a gun there to stop the bad guy with a gun.
Made it more realistic and very scary.
I've avoided watching the video, but I heard Ethan's reaction when he saw it. I was like, I knew that was something you don't see every day.
I was brought to tears then, because
Shut up.
this
This is so sad.
I don't know.
And Gavin and I, you guys got to see both of me and Gavin react to this shit on air yesterday. It was fucking horrible to watch. It was horrible, as Donald Trump says. I mean, watching that shit, there is a human element to all of this, right? Like, I don't care if you're the worst scumbag on planet Earth. That's one of the things we talked about yesterday. If you watch the bullet come in and out of that guy's fucking neck, and then the blood spray everywhere and him fall to the fucking ground, there's just a human visceral reaction of like, oh my gosh, like this, like I shouldn't be seeing this, but I don't know. I agree that Ethan is either like 100% just delusional and warped, and he like is convinced that the next time he leaves his house, this is going to happen to him, or he's faking.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely possible it's a real display of emotion. It was a powerful video. Can't deny that.
But
I don't think I need to explain it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But I hope people take this seriously.
If only Twitch had banned all my enemies, this never would have happened. And that was literally his takeaway. This happened because Twitch didn't ban all the people that I demanded they ban when I tried to call the manager on like Hassan and Mike from PA, and he's suing Denims, he's suing Bad Empanada. I'm like, fuck you, bro. I just have no fucking, tolerance for his fucking whining and his bullshit fucking crocodile tears. And again, he fucking, I remember when that guy fucking burned himself alive for Palestine. Do you remember what I'm talking about?
Aaron Bushnell.
Aaron Bushnell. Ethan joked about it. He fucking laughed about it. He made a bunch of pithy, fucking witty remarks about it in disgusting fashion. And now you want to cry for fucking Charlie Kirk. Aw, like fuck off, bro.
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah. I mean, the end of the day, everybody's, in the mainstream media apparatus is trying to rewrite Charlie Kirk's legacy. And Gavin and I are not going to let that shit fucking happen. Okay. That guy was a fucking white supremacist. All right. He cheerled every single fucking day to have more guns in our streets and less regulations. He fucking hand waved away any of the other victims of gun violence in this country and said that it was just a fucking cost that we had to bear if we were going to have the Second Amendment. And you know what? Now he's a victim of a cost he said we had to bear. So you know what?
Look out the door if you hear an ambulance. The Vanguard will be there, sir. The Vanguard will be there, sir. The Vanguard will be there, sir. The Vanguard will be there. Be there. The Vanguard